There is something that every man does when he is truly in love. Something he would never do if he were merely interested or just spending time with you. And the difference between these two is so striking that once you understand what it is, you will immediately grasp why so many women confuse superficial interest with true love. After years of observing how men behave when they are genuinely in love compared to those who are merely exploring their options, I discovered a pattern that repeats itself without exception. And I am not referring to the obvious signs everyone knows, such as texting daily or constantly wanting to see you. What I mean is something much deeper and far more revealing. The truth is that we men learn very early on to build emotional walls. We are taught that vulnerability is a sign of weakness, that a real man must never show fragility and must always maintain control. That is why it is such a powerful yet silent sign when a man starts to tear down these walls in your presence and reveals parts of himself he usually keeps hidden. This act is an unspoken message about what you truly mean to him. However, what few people really understand is this. When a man is truly in love, he stops trying to impress you and begins trying to genuinely connect with you. He lets go of the need to appear perfect and instead shows you his true humanity. And this reveals itself in very concrete behaviors that I want to share with you now, because recognizing them can fundamentally change how you perceive men and relationships. In the quiet space between vulnerability and trust, healing and awakening begin. Take a moment to listen closely and reflect on what it means to be truly seen. If this resonates with you, watch the full video, share your thoughts in the comments, and consider subscribing to stay connected with more meaningful insights. Sharing past failures, vulnerabilities, and present fears. The first and perhaps most impressive sign is that he starts talking about his failures and vulnerable moments from the past. And I don't mean the superficial confessions people make on early dates. I mean the deep stories that live within us, like emotional scars. When a man tells you how he once made a fatal decision, how he ruined a relationship out of immaturity, or missed opportunities because of fear or pride, he is doing something revolutionary in male thinking. He is showing you that he trusts you so much that he is willing to give up the image of strength he has so painstakingly built. Because, let's be honest, men constantly try to prove that they are capable, strong, and trustworthy. Talking about failures completely contradicts that image. But when a man is truly in love and finds someone he wants to know entirely, the need to appear infallible disappears. And here it gets even more interesting. A man in love does not only talk about past mistakes, he also opens up about his current and future fears. He tells you about the insecurities that keep him awake at night, his self-doubts, his fear of not being enough for you or for the life he hopes to build with you. This is a clear difference from how men behave when they are only interested. In those cases, men show confidence, avoid any hint of insecurity, and present only their best side. But when they truly love, when they want to build something real, they understand that authenticity matters more than perfection. They realize that genuine connection can only be created when both people know each other fully, including their weaknesses. Transformation and strength and expressing intimacy through humor. This transformation in male behavior is fascinating to observe. A man who once tried to appear invincible suddenly begins to admit he does not have all the answers, that he sometimes feels lost, that he needs support and understanding. And he does this not because he has become weaker, but because he has grown emotionally. He has realized that true strength lies in being able to be vulnerable with the right person. If you're finding this helpful, don't hesitate to share your experience below. One of the most beautiful ways this manifests is through humor. A man in love not only shares his successes with you, but also his most embarrassing moments, and he laughs about them together with you. He tells you how he humiliated himself in front of many people when he said something completely inappropriate, or how clumsy and foolish he felt in certain situations. He does this because he no longer feels the need to maintain a perfect facade in front of you. When a man can laugh at himself with you, at his weaknesses and embarrassments, without feeling any less manly, then you have created a safe space for him where he can simply be human. And that is exactly the space we men search for throughout our entire lives. But we only open that space for those who truly matter to us. What makes this shared humor even more meaningful is that it creates a very special form of intimacy. It is not the kind of humor used to impress or lighten the mood. It is humor that comes from absolute trust, from knowing that the other person accepts you even in your most unglamorous moments. It is a humor that says, "I let you laugh at me because I know you don't judge me. You love me." Opening up about family, childhood, and deep emotional wounds. But there is something even deeper that happens when a man is truly in love. That is the way he begins to talk about his childhood and his family. This area is highly sensitive for most men, especially when it involves pain or unresolved issues. When a man begins to tell you about his relationship with his parents, about complicated family dynamics or formative childhood experiences, he is doing something extraordinary. He is giving you the keys to understanding his emotional roots, his behavior patterns, his reactions, his fears. He is letting you see the boy he once was so you can better understand the man he is today. And we men do not share this lightly. We do it when we want someone to truly understand us. When we want that person to know where we come from so they can walk with us towards where we want to go. This openness about the past is often linked with pain. He might tell you about an absent father, an overprotective mother, family tensions, unfulfilled expectations, or a love that was never returned. When a man shows you these old wounds, when he allows you to see his deepest scars, he is saying, "I trust you so much that I am willing to risk you rejecting or judging me for them." What many women do not realize is that talking about family and childhood requires enormous emotional courage from a man, because it involves the experiences that shaped us, injuries that still hurt, patterns we might only now be beginning to question. When we share this, we are not simply giving you information. We are giving you the inner compass that explains why we feel the way we feel, why we love the way we love, and why we react to certain things the way we do. How he talks about you with genuine observation and emotion. And here we come to one of the clearest signs that a man is truly in love, the way he talks about you. I'm not referring to general statements or cliches, but to the ability to express precisely what you mean to him, how your presence affects him, which aspects of your personality have uniquely conquered him. A man in love can tell you exactly why you are special to him. Not just that you are special, but how he describes what he feels when you do certain things. Which of your gestures move him? How you have changed his perspective on specific topics. This also includes expressing his fears, such as the fear of losing you, the worry that he is not good enough for you, or the insecurity that you might find someone better. These fears might seem like weaknesses, but in truth, they are evidence of how much you mean to him. A man is only afraid of losing something that is truly valuable to him, and he only wonders if he is good enough when you play a deep role in his life. If he has the courage to share these fears with you openly, without a mask, he is showing a level of trust and emotional commitment that goes far beyond mere interest. The difference in how a man in love talks about you compared to one who is merely interested is huge. The interested man says things like, "You're pretty, you're funny, I like spending time with you." The man in love says, I love the way you laugh when you're truly happy. I admire how you treat people who are going through hard times. Your presence calms me after a stressful day. These details are not random. They show that he is truly paying attention, that he is really observing you, that he not only enjoys your presence, but understands your essence. It is the difference between someone who appreciates your company and someone who studies your soul because he wants to know you completely. Sharing dreams, future plans, and deep trust through vulnerability. And perhaps one of the strongest signs of real love is when a man begins to share his deepest dreams and goals with you, especially those that make him feel vulnerable because they carry the risk of failure. We men tend to keep our biggest dreams to ourselves because failing publicly hurts more than failing silently. To say that you have a big goal also means admitting that you could fail. And this contradicts the image of the always capable man. So when a man tells you about a project he has always wanted to realize, about a career change he is pursuing, about personal goals that both excite and frighten him, and especially if he includes you in these plans or wants to hear your opinion, he is doing something that goes against his natural instinct for self-protection. He is risking his image as a successful man to share his most intimate vision of the future with you. And here is something many people do not recognize. When a man includes you in his future dreams, when he talks about plans that involve both of you, when he wants to hear your thoughts on important decisions, it is not just politeness or consideration. It means that you have become a central part of his vision for life. You are no longer merely a beautiful addition to his life. You are much more than that. You have become a foundation for the future he wishes to build. This inclusion of you in his dreams and future plans stands as one of the deepest expressions of love a man can offer, because it shows he sees you not only as part of his present, but also as a crucial part of his future. He is saying, "When I imagine the years ahead, you are there. When I think about my future successes, I picture celebrating them with you. When I consider challenges, I see you by my side as we overcome them together." And this becomes even more tangible when he shares not only his dreams with you, but also the insecurities that accompany them. When he confides in you that he sometimes doubts whether he has enough talent, whether he has the courage to take the necessary risks, or whether he is making the right decisions, he is revealing an extraordinary level of trust. Because he is not just showing you the confident man he aspires to be, but also the insecure man he sometimes is. This kind of vulnerability demands enormous courage. Because a man who shows you his deepest doubts about his own abilities, his fears of failure, and his uncertainty about the path he is on, he is baring himself to you fully, hoping that you will perceive his humanity not as weakness, but as depth. And he does this because your support, your understanding, and your presence mean so much to him that he is willing to let go of the carefully maintained image of the controlled man to create something genuine with you. Yet there are moments when this male vulnerability reaches even deeper levels. That is when a man shares with you his most emotionally significant pains. I am referring to those experiences that have truly shaped us: the loss of a loved one, profound disappointments and betrayals, and phases of depression or despair. Moments when we have felt completely lost. When a man tells you about these things, when he invites you to share in his deepest emotional scars, he is doing something that requires absolute willingness to trust. He is showing you the times when he was most vulnerable, most fragile, most human. And that is not something men do lightly or often. It is something we share only with people with whom we feel completely safe, people we deem worthy of knowing our broken parts. This openness is profoundly significant because these moments of pain are often the ones that shaped us the most. They are experiences that changed our worldview, taught us lessons we would not have learned otherwise, and made us stronger yet more sensitive to our own fragility. When a man tells you about these things, he is giving you access to what shaped him at his very core. And it is not only about recounting the story, it is also about what those experiences did to him, how they changed him, what he learned from them, and which fears or insecurities remain. It is his way of saying, I want you to not only know what happened to me, but also how it made me who I am today. I want you to know my wounds because they are part of me. And if you want to love me, you have to love all of me, including my cracks. This form of trust reveals itself in a particularly powerful way when a man talks to you about his mental health. In a society where men are still expected to be emotionally invulnerable, admitting to anxiety, depression, or feeling overwhelmed is an act of extraordinary courage. When a man tells you that he has experienced mental low points, that sometimes he feels overwhelmed by the world, that he needs emotional support, he is breaking through one of the strongest walls of traditional masculinity. By doing so, he tells you that he trusts you so deeply that he is willing to show you the moments when he was not the pillar of strength expected of him, but simply a human being who was tired, exhausted, or afraid. What makes this so special is that in doing so, he actively dismantles old images of masculinity to create something real with you. He is choosing true connection over social recognition, emotional closeness over facade, vulnerability over control. And this choice is never easy for any man, because it contradicts everything we have been taught about how we are supposed to be. Yet here lies the true beauty of it all. When a man makes this choice, when he decides to show you the sides of himself he usually hides, he is not just being vulnerable with you. He is laying the foundation for a relationship that can withstand any storm, because it is based on the complete truth of who he is, not on an edited version designed to impress. And when this happens, when a man opens up to you in this way, you must understand that you are witnessing something sacred. You are witnessing a man choosing authenticity over image, real connection over superficial impact, emotional closeness over safe distance. You are witnessing someone who has decided that you are worth the risk. The risk of being fully seen with all his weaknesses and imperfections is what fundamentally separates a man who is merely interested from one who truly loves. The first wants to be admired. He wants you to be attracted to him, to desire him. But the second, the man who is truly in love, wants to be known. He wants you to understand him and to love him for who he really is, not for the image he pretends to be. The interested man will always maintain a certain emotional distance. He keeps parts of himself hidden, upholds walls to protect his carefully crafted image. He only shows you the sides that are easy to love, that demand no patience or deep understanding, that cost him nothing emotionally. But the man who is in love does the exact opposite. He opens every door to his inner world. He shows you his contradictions, his inner battles, his moments of weakness, his biggest dreams, and his deepest fears. He lets you see not only the man he presents publicly, but also the man he is in private, during sleepless nights, phases of insecurity, and his inner crises. And here lies the deepest truth. When a man opens up emotionally like this, he is doing far more than just sharing personal information. He is inviting you to a level of intimacy that goes well beyond the physical or romantic. He is granting you access to his inner experiences, his private struggles, his most sensitive dreams, and his deepest wounds. He is telling you without words that he is not just searching for a romantic partner. He is seeking a life partner, not merely someone to share beautiful moments with, but someone to journey through the entire life experience alongside, including fears, doubts, and vulnerabilities that are part of being human. This is the deepest invitation a man can offer you. The invitation to truly know him and to be truly known yourself. It is an invitation to create something that transcends physical attraction or superficial compatibility. It is an invitation to build a connection that grows stronger over time instead of fading away. A connection that becomes stronger through challenges rather than breaking under pressure. One that is built on the complete acceptance of the real self. And this realization can fundamentally change the way you see relationships. Because when you recognize these signs, when you truly understand what it means for a man to open up like this, you will no longer settle for superficial connections. You will begin to value and seek out true emotional intimacy because you understand that this is exactly what forms the foundation of a relationship that truly lasts. You will stop being impressed by grand gestures or beautiful words. Instead, you will recognize the true value in the man who has the courage to reveal his real self to you. You will understand that true intimacy is not found in perfect moments, but in real ones, difficult conversations, the ability to be vulnerable, and the willingness to hold the other's vulnerability as well. Therefore, if you are experiencing this with someone right now, if you recognize these behaviors in your relationship, then know that you have found something special. It is rare for a man to possess the emotional maturity and courage to open up to this depth. Not every man is ready to give up his image of strength for the chance at a real connection. Not every man has the emotional intelligence to realize that true strength lies in being vulnerable with the right person. And if you haven't found someone like this yet, don't give up. Never settle for less, because this kind of connection does exist. And when it comes into your life, you will immediately feel the difference between someone who wants to impress you and someone who truly wants to know you. Between a man who sees you as a conquest and one who recognizes you as his emotional home. Tell me in the comments if you have ever experienced something like this, if you have recognized these signs in a past relationship, or if this text has given you a new perspective on how men show their love. Your experience can help other women better recognize these subtle differences and feel when they are truly standing before someone special.